I enjoy watching this guy's videos. These guys' videos are great, and I enjoy this. So I'm looking forward to today's video. We're going to watch the Iron Chef Dad turn Panda Express into a gourmet meal. Look here, YouTube. We've already told you we're not answering you.
Before I start this video, you'll notice it's pre-filmed.
Holy shit.
I honestly think it's the best one yet. Tasted the best, at least in my opinion. It's the first video we've seen from the series. My dad is a Iron Chef on Iron Chef Canada. He's on shows like Top Chef Master, all that. So yeah, I like to give him these challenges, and he likes doing them. Panda Express is what I ordered. Panda Express is a very popular food chain. I think it's American, a Chinese food chain. Pretty much build your own plate. When I built for my dad to turn gourmet, honey sesame chicken, black pepper beef, chicken egg roll, 2 spring rolls, chow mein. So we're gonna see what he does with that. If you enjoy the series, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 60,000. I think I'm like a couple hundred away, so that'd mean a lot. And yeah, I'm gonna start the video now.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, I don't? That's weird.
Panda Express. Ready? Hey. Real Chinese food.
Real Chinese food? Why? Because the symbol of the panda?
I got lots of things.
A lot of things in there. Oh my god.
So how do you think like a restaurant like Panda Express comes about? Like, is the guy actually Chinese that starts it? So is he more of a businessman or he's a chef?
He's a businessman, definitely. Okay.
Agreed. Agreed.
Chicken egg roll. So I got 2 vegetable spring rolls and 1 chicken egg roll.
Not gonna lie, if I go to Panda Express, chicken or pork egg rolls every time. I'm not a fan of the vegetable egg rolls to nearly the same extent at all. I think what it is the way the roll is done. Like, you'll see. This one's more golden brown. That's the one with the chicken in it. And the other ones are less golden brown, and it just has a different texture I'm not as fond of. See that? It's not the same thing.
Spring roll better. It's hard. Oh my god. I gotta put on my glasses. I gotta see what the hell this is. Pork doesn't do it justice.
No, you gotta have chopsticks.
Well, you have chow mein.
Yeah.
You got some American Chinese food. You gotta get your chopsticks, right? It's just, that's the respectful way to do it.
Always a cabbage and some celery. Wow. They really top it up. Is it brown rice, actually?
Fried rice.
Fried rice?
Yeah.
They literally just fry it without anything on it.
I know. There's no vegetables, no.
That's really weird. When you get fried rice in the U.S., it's got like eggs and onions in it typically, at the very least, not just plain rice that you fried. That's real strange. That's a strange Canada-ism, I believe.
No red one. Oh my god, that's why they make so much freaking money. You call it fried rice?
Yeah. Try the chicken. Guess the flavor.
Recently, and for no reason at all, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes.
Holy shit, that oil has been fried for so many times. So sweet.
Beef?
What kind of beef is that? Pretty tough.
Bad?
Huh?
Bad? What would you rate it out of 10? It's honey sesame chicken and black pepper steak.
First of all, when I taste the rice, there's nothing to it. You know, it's basically maybe just a little bit soy sauce. You know, the seasoning that they have in their food is so salty and sweet. This noodle is so sweet. What exactly they call it?
Chow mein.
Just chow mein?
Yeah.
Well, the chicken and the beef, it just tastes sweet. I don't know. The taste doesn't taste Chinese at all.
So what would you rate Panda Express out of 10?
Like for Chinese rating this kind of Chinese food, and don't forget your dad has a restaurant in Asia, so I know what Chinese food. I grew up in Hong Kong, right? Cantonese, growing up in Hong Kong is very picky about Chinese food. Like to rate this as Chinese food, I would give them 3.
3?
And that's fair. Panda Express is not very good at all. Not very good at all. I will say their fried rice looks way more lackluster than it does in the U.S., but it still doesn't move it from a 3.
3.
I think it's the lowest one so far.
I think so far.
So egg roll and spring roll too.
Oh, the dough is up. Oh my god.
See?
Garlic. Ooh.
See, and that's how it is every time you get those egg rolls. Like, they're not good.
No.
Cheese raw. Oh. The dough roll is the spring roll is not
crispy.
It's not crispy. Oh God.
Yep, every time.
They actually
Egg roll.
this is egg roll.
Chicken egg roll.
Okay. So far, this is the best thing I
Really?
get at Panda Express. Yes. Okay.
I agree. I buy like 3 of them if I go to Panda Express because I know that it's going to be the best thing that you get.
Let me start thinking about
It's why I
how
don't really go there.
to make this thing better. Okay, son. I think I know what to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to make this a little bit much better. Only I would use top it up the rice. Making a little bit of better fried rice with egg and so some vegetable. I know what to do.
So talk to me what's going through your mind at the moment.
When I was thinking about this, how do I make it better, right? The word is. So, because since this noodle, it tastes so freaking awful, I gotta rinse everything out. So freaking awful. It's got Gary all this. So, I would take the rice.
It's so bad. The noodles are so bad. I have to completely rinse off everything they put on them because they ruined it. That's what he's saying about these noodles. That's fucked up. You fucked up, Panda Express.
Separately, fried rice.
Barely any vegetables, huh?
Barely. See that? Rinse everything out. Carry all this bad taste.
I feel like this food is worse for you than like McDonald's.
Oh yeah. Now, first of all, I'm going to make.
That might be true in Canada. When American fast food chains like McDonald's are moved overseas, they actually have different standards in those countries, and therefore they have completely different ingredients included into their food in the same food chain that would be in America, but it's overseas, and it's even like not having to go over any seas, right, to Canada. They still have different standards, so they end up with different things. Like they're getting a much better quality McDonald's than we do because of that standard, basically.
A 8 crate.
Another crate?
Well, no, it's a different, right? So, just a little dash of cornstarch, half of teaspoon. Oil, add in
Olive oil?
just a little bit olive oil, because it makes it a little bit more softer. The salt, beat it up, stir. Now, meanwhile, the noodles is already been what I call
Revived.
Italian invented the fork, and while I was beating with a chopstick, and it didn't work very well, and then using a fork, it's actually worked very well. It's better. You got oil the pan, just a little bit of oil.
Little egg crate.
Oh man, that's gonna be great. Bam! And just like that, you have an egg crepe. See how easy that is to make? Just do it. Just do it. You won't regret it. Do that. Goes in your fried rice. Excellent. Excellent.
Ready, rice bowl ready. Right on top.
What is that?
First part, second part, I am going to cut some corn. You notice I didn't cook the corn.
Yeah, why is that?
Because I am going to let the rice steam it inside. It tastes nice. So let's start the fried rice.
That makes sense.
Onion, cut, dice it just like the corn. Nice. Lettuce, shred the lettuce, cut them in half. A little bit chop chive, a little bit ginger.
Do you like better garlic or ginger?
Ginger. Ginger tastes nice in the rice. Start the rice, fry the rice. Now you see, this rice has so much oil. So
It does.
use very
It really does. Like if you try to do something with fried rice you buy from a place that's like Panda Express, and you're trying to do something like he's doing, adding to it, you really don't have to add any oil pretty much when you fry it. You might want just just a tiny little bit in the pan if you're adding enough stuff, but there's so much rice or so much oil on that rice that you pretty much just throw the rice in the pan and it will oil all your vegetables for you. Unless, like I said, you're adding a whole lot.
Little oil with mine. You see, I'm going to start with this. Just a little drip of oil, very little.
See, watch. See, basically nothing, right? See, it's like basically nothing, and it's strictly because he's only frying up the vegetables right now just to kind of soften them before you add the rice.
A little bit of ginger goes down.
Boom.
Rice.
See, like you're not even truly softening them. It's just enough to get it started.
You can see the wap.
The WAP. You know what WAP is?
Wap. What is wap?
W-A-P. It's an acronym, guess.
No. That is. Okay. Nice. And
No one needs to know what that is.
don't forget, all these green beans, all these peppers is going into the rice. Nice. Get a little vegetable.
See, so he's taking all the vegetables out of the pepper beef and the, what do you say he got? Honey sesame chicken, right? So he's just taking the vegetables out of the entree meals and adding it to the rice.
Thank God. Nice it up. Texture.
Already looking more colorful.
You know, when you have fried rice, you know, you have to have a hot pan or hot wok because they give a little bit of that smokiness.
A lot of people are asking what pans do you use.
I would say if you want to cook something like that, use a non-stick heavy pan, thick pan. A little bit of black pepper or white pepper is also good.
Black pepper or MSG? Someone commented that last time you used it.
Black pepper, there's no way I'm
Whoever commented that was dumb. Like, if it's black pepper, it's black pepper. Now, if it was salt, and you were to be like, you mean salt or do you mean MSG? That would make sense, because MSG you could add instead of salt. But pepper is completely different as far as spices go. That's a comment made of, like, an ignorance of the difference between the two spices.
Enough of MSG and
Oh, they already have a lot of
beef is so gross. Oh, my favorite chicken. Look how little chicken they ate. We only ate like one.
I know.
3 pieces. They had like 5 pieces total.
So tough to...
See, and that's part of what they're talking about with, like, how few pieces of meat that they actually include in those entrees. This is part of the reason that I don't go. Is, like, the majority of the entree ends up not being the meat. So you're spending, say, $15 for a bunch of vegetables. Like, you could have bought, like, a nice steak and some Brussels sprouts or a potato or some shit and had a great meal on your own at home for the same amount of money, and it drives me nuts.
The beef. Mince a little bit. Rice down. Oh my God, look at that. You know how much chicken is there? There's just dough. Look at that. How much chicken is there? There's no chicken in there. It's all fried dough. Oh my God, I'm not using that one. There's no chicken in there.
So he even was just like, okay, well, that one piece of chicken isn't even a piece of chicken. All it is this crust and the flavoring, so we're not even going to use that. It's not even worth our time. Like, this is what you're getting when you go to places like Panda Express, and it's why you should probably just mess with flavors and ingredients, figure out how to do stuff, look up videos on how to cook things if you don't know how to cook certain things. And over time, you'll just gain knowledge of how to do specific techniques and prepare certain types of dishes and different types of meats and vegetables. And you'll pick up little tricks, and you'll end up making better dishes than you would going out. And instead of spending the same amount of money on an entire meal for at home and only getting vegetables for that amount of money, it's It's just simply not the same. You're better off going and getting the ingredients and cooking your meal.
Now, one little dash of water is like a little blessing, you know? Little blessing with water.
What does the water do?
It's just kind of like steam fry, right? Keep everything nice and hot. God, you need help. This is the help. Little soy sauce.
That's that little bit of soy sauce he said he might add.
Goes down.
It's just a different bottle than we're used to seeing here.
Open
This
this
is a
up.
bit of a presentation.
Fried rice, you know, I grew up with this. You know, my dad used to take me to a restaurant. You know, fried rice is one of those things, you know, even in weddings, by the end, they give you a rice. Would you like to taste it now or later? Taste it later.
Doing this, you're not using it.
What? Well, no, I am. Fold in. Fold
Oh snap! This is the gourmet step.
And I tell people it comes
in.
These folds. Wrong button. So these folds he did here, that's your gourmet step, right? Like these types of details are like making this egg crepe and using that inside of the bowl to encompass all of your fried rice, folding in the top over, and then having the noodles sit on top of it. And then he's probably going to turn the bowl upside down on the plate so that when you cut that crepe, you see the inside and it's sitting on a bed of noodles, right? That's what really takes something to like that gourmet level a lot of the time in cooking is the presentation.
What do you have here? What kind of oil?
I have just vegetable oil.
What are you doing?
We'll see. Trying to make a presentation. Nice.
See, trying to make a presentation.
Crispy.
Fry. Get it nice and crispy.
Okay, he's doing something else though.
Move around the oil. Look at this when it's crispy. You will know. You know why? When there's less bubble, it means less water. It means it's crispy. You see this side?
That makes
there's
sense.
No water. This is all crispy already. You see this is still have a little bit of water.
That makes a lot of sense, especially if you just take oil and you flick a little bit of water in there, it's gonna boil like that, right? So that makes perfect sense. And instead of doing what I was thinking, where you put the noodles on top, you could actually put the noodles directly on the plate and put the bowl over it, and then remove the bowl, and you have the exact same thing.
So you still a little bit of.
It just gives you the difference between it. Really is it's minimal. Is you're just gonna have like this big disc of noodles that you have your rice sitting in the center of, so you have more of the visual impact of the noodles, which makes sense because if you cut it open, it'll fall out onto those noodles across that entire spread rather than having the noodles sitting in the middle. This makes a lot more sense.
Have a little bit of water, so you still a little bit of. You need a little bit of that. Now, meanwhile, I'm going. Of course, I need to do a little presentation.
Wow. Crispy.
Noodles goes down. Fried rice go down. So it looks like a little treasure.
See what I said? See what I was saying? You go through those steps, the egg in the bowl, and this is what you get. Then when you cut it, it's going to open up onto the whole plate. And this is a great little touch. And he didn't do a lot to make it look fancy, right? He just did some little tiny cuts into each portion of it and then made slices out of that piece. Very simple.
Well, this might be your best looking one yet. Eh?
Well, because it's Chinese. No.
So break it down what we got.
We have fried rice, chicken, almost chicken, and also
Almost chicken.
donut, and also like really tough beef. I cut it really smaller, could be better chew. And also I add sweet corn, onions, you know, some of the green string beans, and also I have
Lettuce.
yellow peppers, and also some lettuce. So soy sauce, fragrant. I made an egg crepe, so they're nice and soft. You can tell. Take it in texture. It's all about texture. Real presentation. It brings in a little bit of that, what I call little modern Chinese, you know?
Like the noodle looks so cool. Refried chow mein. Let's try it here. Cut into the. You can see all the ingredients. Nice. I like how the rice has more color now.
See?
With the soy sauce and stuff.
See what I was saying? How it folds out and it pretty much encompasses the noodles perfectly after that. It's a presentation thing that people enjoy with their eyes, and that is a lot of the time what takes a restaurant from being just like a decent sit-down restaurant into being something that's closer to fine dining. A lot of the time it's presentation. Like, you have to have the quality ingredients and menu items to qualify that way as well, but obviously. But the biggest difference, oftentimes, is presentation. And all that is practice, like I said. You can just watch things like this, see how they do it. You can make the same thing at home. And that type of practice, watching other things, seeing how they go through cooking things of this nature or this level, or not even just from taking an existing meal and making it better, but doing it from scratch, you're gonna get to that point. It doesn't mean that you're like, oh yeah, I'm a chef. Like, no way. There's a big difference between being a chef and being able to make a meal like this at your home, and then doing it in a restaurant to scale for customers, making these same dishes consistently with the cook done perfectly on each item every time. It's simply not the same thing. So, vastly different.
So, yeah, let's try it.
And he is a chef, right? So it makes sense.
Eat the egg with it.
I like how the rice is still hot because it was inside the thing.
Yeah, you keep the temperature, right? Texture is good, and also lettuce give a little crunch too, right?
Yeah.
But I think you should mix it up eating with the
Noodle?
That's an interesting combination, actually. It's like my slaw.
I think this is your best transformation yet.
Well, haven't finished yet, so I mean there are many dishes. Don't say it's the best.
So far, I mean.
Yeah, so far.
This might be better than your fried rice that you make. Please subscribe.
What do you mean subscribe?
Please subscribe.
Just say that, just like that?
Yeah, to the channel.
Please subscribe. No.
Subscribe.
Oblige. Huh? No, don't fuck me up. Okay. Please subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe.
That's great. That's a wholesome ending. Everybody struggles with words sometimes. We're not alone in that. It happens to everybody. It gets us all. How funny.